Greetings, wizards! Welcome to the Papercraft Wizard channel. My name is Kelly and I appreciate you being here. In this video, we'll be creating a paper lantern. I'm going to be die cutting some butterflies to go on my lanterns. And so here I'm just showing a couple of techniques for how I like to decorate some paper and then use that for the die cut, just so that my butterflies aren't a solid color. For this first paper, I'm using some Tim Holtz Distress Oxides and a blending brush to just blend some color onto the page in a rainbow pattern. After we create this rainbow page, we'll be using mica powders to create another page. If you're interested in just skipping ahead to when we begin making the lantern, that happens at about 11 minutes and 30 seconds. I am not affiliated with or compensated by any of the companies whose products I use in this video. If you're enjoying this video, please remember to subscribe and ring that bell. After the rainbow page is complete, we'll set it aside and let it dry. For this next page, we're going to play with Nuvo shimmer powders. This first one is called Blue Blitz. I'll also be using Cherry Bomb, Jade Fountain, and Lilac Waterfall. I'm going to begin by sprinkling some Blue Blitz all over the paper. It doesn't take a lot, just a little will do it. And then I'll continue to sprinkle on the other powders as well. Once we have the powder sprinkled on the page as we'd like, take a spray bottle and mist the paper. For this, a fine mist works best. Here's our completed paper. You can see all of the shimmer from the shimmer powder. From the Lawn Fawn layered butterfly set, cut out 2 of the detail pieces and 2 of the background pieces. The background pieces were cut out with pearlescent vellum, and the detail pieces were cut out from the paper we created at the beginning of the video. I've also used some glitter paper to cut out the bodies for the butterflies. I'm using some Lawn Fawn glue to adhere the butterflies onto the vellum. And now I'll adhere the glitter body to the butterfly. All right, let's make the lantern. This is a pearlescent piece of vellum. It's 8.5 inches by 5 inches. 2 strips of decorative cardstock measuring 8 3/4 inch by 1/2 inch. 2 strips of cardstock measuring 8.5 inches by 1/2 inch. 2 pieces of 3 inch by 1/2 inch cardstock. Four of each color, 5 3/4 inch by 1/2 inch. Piece of Lawn Fawn twine measuring 6 inches. Some flat back gem embellishment. And a tube of Lawn Fawn glue. These are the products that I'm using, but use whatever you already have, whatever glue, whatever type of vellum that you have available. If you don't have vellum available, you could also try tissue paper, though it won't be as stiff, so it might be a little bit more difficult to work. Take the 2 8.5 by 1/2 inch strips, and we'll use those as the top and bottom ring. We'll take our 5 3/4 inch strips and add adhesive to 1/4 inch of the top of the strip. We're going to adhere that to the top strip. You want to have your pattern facing out, down, and the pattern that's facing up will be inside. I'm leaving about 1/16 of an inch on the edge of that top strip, and then I'll go ahead and adhere the bottom of that strip to the bottom strip. This first strip is the most difficult to line up, but we want to make sure that we line it up very well so that all of the other strips fit on the paper as they're expected to. I'm using the grid on my mat to help me make sure my lines are square. It does take a minute to get it all lined up, but that is really the most difficult part. Once we have that lined up, it's easy to go ahead and put the rest of our strips on the same way we did the first one and in whatever pattern we like. As we're adding the additional strips, we want to give a little bit of space between the two strips. It's just less than 1/16 of an inch. And we have the outside part of our lanyard. Now we'll add our 8 3/4 inch by 1/2 inch strips to our vellum. I used the top strips of my 12 by 12 paper, and it did have some writing on it. And I was able to see it, of course, through the vellum on the inside. I wasn't so concerned because it was on the inside, but if you're concerned, then I recommend using paper that's decorative on both sides. We're going to adhere this first strip right to the top of the vellum. The cardstock strip will hang over the vellum by 1/4 inch. Once we have the top strip in place, we'll go ahead and adhere the bottom strip. I'm going to add a single strip of 1/8 inch double-sided tape to the end of the vellum with the 1/4 inch pieces of cardstock hanging off. We'll make sure the double-sided tape is nice and secure, and then we'll remove the paper backing. Going to carefully bend this piece into a cylinder. I'm adding some adhesive to our 1/4 inch pieces sticking. This part is a bit tedious. We want to be extra careful to line up our pieces so that our cylinder is as cylindrical as possible. And we'll make sure it's nice and secure. I have a couple little pieces of 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch scrap here, and I'm going to use those to adhere the twine to the cylinder. I'm adding adhesive to the 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch piece, and then I'll fray just a bit of the end of the twine to help it adhere better, and I'll put that into the glue and then adhere it to the cylinder. And I'll do the same thing with the other side of the twine. If you're enjoying this video, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, make a comment, and ring that bell. And now we'll flip the cylinder over. We'll use our 3 inch by 1/2 inch pieces, and these will be the X at the bottom inside of the lantern that will hold our light. Now let's adhere the outer portion of our lantern. I'm adding some adhesive to about the first 2 inches of both the top and bottom strip. We'll adhere the top and bottom strip to the top and bottom strip of our cylinder. We want to make sure it's nice and secure. We'll continue to add adhesive a bit at a time and secure our outer panel to our cylinder. We want to be sure to keep our edges lined up. And here we have our lantern. Going to adhere our butterflies to the lantern as well as our flat back gem embellishment. To adhere the flat back gems, I'm going to use some glossy accent. I'm using my embellishment wand to make it a little bit easier to place those flat back gems. Wizards, don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell.